Welcome to DrivenMavens.com. My name is Arvin, and we're going to continue on with digital painting clouds. Alright, so we're going to continue on practicing with using reference photographs and trying to understand how to relate all the colors and the shapes and the forms that we see on regular photographs by switching it up a little. We're not going to draw any cars today. We're actually going to expand our horizons a little bit. Speaking of horizons, we got a beautiful sunset right here that we are going to try to figure out some of the color palettes. What I'm going to do here at the beginning is to kind of establish the kind of color. Now I'm just doing this by eye, and I'm trying to establish a background color that I want to, a gradation color palette that I want to apply to the background. Now, when we do these speed paintings, all I'm going to do is use a single layer, which means I'm not really going to add different layers to put different colors or any line. This is just going to go with a straight painting style. What I've done here is that I'm just going through and trying to figure out the ranges and the color to see whether I can match the midtones. So we've got the nice cool colors from the sky at the top, and then at the bottom, or not at the bottom, just around the horizon line, we've got that nice orangish color. But what I want to do is kind of go in between that, where you got the orange and the slight green tones there. And I'm going to take the gradation tool, and then I'm just going to apply that gradation so that you see the blue tones and then the cooler tones, and then we've got the warmer tones in the bottom. And then I'm going to speed up the video here. Now that you know kind of the gist of how I begin, we're going to start to do the same thing with using just by eye, start to define the shapes that we're seeing in this photograph. So what I'm doing is to kind of match up the drawing and just add a little bit of indicate a little bit of some detail on the terrain or the background of the trees that you can see there. I'm not using anything special. It is just the normal brush tool that you get in Photoshop. Okay, and I switch to a more airbrush type brush tool, and I'm just kind of adding all the lighter tones, the warmer tones and the lighter tones, and blocking all those colors in. I'm getting a little bit more of a intense orange color here right along the horizon line. And then I'm going to start with the shape of the clouds here. We'll zoom up a bit. You can see the texture of the brush. It's pretty harsh actually. But all I care right now is just to define the shape of the clouds. So I'm starting off with adding the illuminated clouds, the color from the illumination from the sun, which is where you're going to see a lot of the intensity. And this is really showing the intensity of the sun that's being reflected onto the bottom of the clouds. And then we've got the darker gray tones that we're going to apply on top of that. And as we work through the shapes, we're going to blend those things in. So you can tell that I'm kind of just patterning all this detail in. I'm going really quick. I'm just trying to get the feel and the dynamics, the looseness of those clouds. Very similar to drawing or sketching. Yeah. the only thing here with digital tools is that you don't have to spend a lot of money on pastels or anything like that. You're free to explore and create, or just explore, really. Explore color. Alright, so now that I've got all that roughed in, you can see from a distance it's starting to kind of take some shape, and you can see the similarities that we've got here. Now, just to speed things up, I don't always use color pickers, but I use the color picker right now just to kind of speed my process up a little bit. But most of the stuff that you've seen so far have just been done by eye, just looking at the colors from the photographs and trying to identify on the color swatch whether they're close enough. You try it out a little bit. If it seems a little bit off, you try to readjust. I'm going to indicate a little bit of the tree here, as we see in the photograph. And the important part about all this is, as you go through this, you'll start to understand the physics behind the lighting effects. And as you start to strategize on doing something on your own or creating some of your own artwork, you'll be able to leverage some of this knowledge and this background. So I hope you enjoyed this one, and we will see you again next time on drivenmavens.com.